The world, Margaret W.Wong and Associates, with over 40 years experience in U.S. immigration law, keeps working for you in the midst of adversity. Offices are in Cleveland, New York, Memphis, Atlanta, Columbus, Raleigh, North Carolina, Nashville, Chicago, and Minneapolis. Look after your loved ones and we'll take care of your immigration needs. Please call us at 216-279-3984. That's 216-279-3984.
Hello, everybody. My name is Juan Carlos Brando. I'm really pleased to be here with you again, as every Thursday at this time, 12:30 in the Eastern Time of the United States. And well, I heard that probably we're going to have a change in a few days, going back to the regular time. And actually, in the state of Georgia, they are thinking about not changing it back to the normal time anymore. So we don't know what is going to happen with this time change. But the good thing is that right now we have a good time to ask questions about immigration. The immigration field is changing every single day, and we need an attorney who can help us get an immigration relief. So that's why we have Ms. Wong. She has been working on this field for over 40 years, and we have the good luck of having her and having the chance of asking her some questions about the immigration field. So good. Hello, Ms. Wong. How are you doing today?
I'm very good, Mr. Juan, and thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong. And we would like to start by asking some little questions about what is going on with the immigration field. The immigration is changing a lot, but there's a lot of expectation right now regarding to what Mr. President Biden said the first day of his presidency. And right now, last week, he came up with some other ideas and formally presented the bill for the immigration reform. So what can you tell us about this?
Right now, there's very little public information on the immigration bill as they proposed it. But then they also said, administration also said that they're willing to discuss piecemeal, which means I think would be TPS, DACA, and farm workers still have first priority. I'm already getting clients question on, oh, should I go work for a farm? And these are PhD Indian kids that we know they'll never work in a farm because those are more the Latino people. And it's just different nationalities have different national traits, because some people, they are very good in herds, farms, sheep. Some people, they're very good in the computer, the technical, but if you want them to go change a light bulb or you want them to go change the time of the clock, like you said, 1 hour before, they won't know what to do. And they'll fall down the stairs. So we do have our country traits. Like some people are born to be great bridge players. There are other people who are great at manipulating powers, the 48 laws of power. So it depends. But as far as the newest, the great news is President Biden took off the Trump thing about certain people who cannot come to America until the end of March. Yesterday in our presentation, we're talking about like fiancé visas, sibling visas. Now, as of today, Biden took that off. So now American embassies overseas in Mexico, in Venezuela, in Guatemala, in China, and India, if I already paid my $120 and $325, I'm just waiting for the visa call and visa stamp. As of this morning, they can start to schedule. And also, they probably would not be that mean on denying visa. So, for example, we had a case yesterday from El Salvador, both 212 approved, 601A approved, 3-year, and actually they only need 1-year tax return where we also gave them 3 years. They also have no criminal record, both, of course, in El Salvador and here. So everything we thought would be perfect. It was a 7 a.m. interview, and the client called us back crying, saying that, oh, they denied my interview because they said we never filed pardon because I illegally entered America. Luckily, we're confident. We know what we are doing. So we immediately call them, and they're very, very nice on the phone. And they didn't even give our clients a copy of that 221G letter, which they should, instead of telling them, because these clients, they're so nervous, they don't even know, they forget their own names and date of birth, not to say a visa is denied. So it's only verbal. So we had to call them to get, and they're very nice. They sent us an email right away saying that you're subject to the bar. So within like maybe an hour, we email something back, because the whole thing is you don't want them to send the case back to America, because that'll take 9 months. And then the poor client have to sit there because they could not come back with the green card. They also should not come back illegally because it's a per bar case. So within an hour, 5 of us have to drop everything we're doing, dictate the letter, get an email out, confirm it's received, and now we're waiting. These are little things that they're still under the Trump thing. They will think of anything to deny your visa or to tell you something really bad, even though they're very nice on the phone, and you're like, what? And then they should have given you a paper, and they didn't. And luckily we are also experienced lawyers. We're not stupid, so we went ahead and do what's necessary. But the poor guy, my poor paralegal who speaks Spanish, our whole law firm is like, how could that be? Because we keep thinking, did we make a mistake? Because this is too serious a mistake that we should not have made. It turned out nobody made a mistake. It's just the officer. And it's like a 10-minute interview. You don't let people come all the way back from America back home, be so scared. And another thing that happened is normally within 15 days, you should be able to open and do a file creation, because we are lawyers. So we do our own file creation. But before the non-citizen or the alien go back, they have to do their file creation. So this poor guy, and he's very highly stressed. He's very sensitive. He's very scared. So he must have tried 10 times every day, and he couldn't do it. And our paralegal couldn't do it. Our lawyers couldn't do it. At first I thought, oh, maybe I'm just stupid. Our paralegals are stupid, or he's stupid because he's so nervous. We finally had to call them, and turned out it's on their side. We couldn't open. So that's another issue. So by the time the client went in there, they're already nervous, they're scared, they didn't have their coffee at 7 o'clock in the morning, because you should really get in at 5. If it's at 7, they need to stand in line, because otherwise you miss your appointment. So all these things adding together, I'm pretty sure he'll come back. But I'm just giving you an example of what kind of work is involved. And that case took 5 years, because when we signed the contract in 2015, there's no 212 and there's no 601A. So after we signed the contract in 2015, our plan is to do a motion to reopen and then do the pardon. And then new law came in at the end of Obama, because Obama also deported 3 million people. So, but that last 2 or 3 years, maybe 2.5, 2 years, he knows that he don't need to win another election. He also knows that he would not get comprehensive immigration reform passed. So then he started 212. In 2018, he started DACA in 2012. He started 601A in 2013. And then, so these are like slowly years of hard work and politicking and, getting lobbyists. So, but I'm giving you one example. It took 5 years of prominent immigration lawyer to help this client get a green card, who, by the way, is married to an American citizen, have American kids. So we switched the contract from a motion to reopen cases to go back to court and fight the case to 212, which is a new law, 601A, which is sort of new law. After all that, you couldn't open this file creation, you couldn't do that. And then after that, with Trump, the 4 years of denying visas, so we're scared to send our client back. So now finally he got back and he couldn't open his, and then we don't want him to cancel, because his last minute he said, I'm not going to go. I said, no, you're going. And whatever happens, we'll be responsible. So the poor guy is still stuck there. So these are things I'm telling you as an American listening public, that's what people like them face. Right now, you have the TV on Britney Spears, how much power have a teenager on their bodies. You also have conversations on Pharaoh versus Allen, about the Pharaoh team, the Allen team, on incest and on stepdaughter and on love. let's also focus the attention on what immigrants like us, foreign-borns, illegal aliens, undocumented, non-citizen, however you call them, what fear we go through. And mind you, in these 5 years, nobody wins except maybe the airline because he had to fly down there. We don't win because we charge immigration lawyers don't win because we charge flat fees for a case that lasted 5 years. And also within the change, and these people, they're not wealthy. You can't just say, oh, the law changed, I need to charge more. Our more is very much like a dinner in an expensive restaurant. So the immigration lawyers don't win. The government certainly don't win. President Trump lose the race. Obama didn't win because ultimately he deported more than 3 million people, and most of these 3 million, 5 million people cannot come back. Aliens certainly didn't win, or a non-citizen doesn't win because he doesn't have a work permit. He can only file tax return using a TIN number. And certainly the tax treasury don't win because most of these people, they use another name and another social to file tax return. That social person could have been passed, could have been dead. They could have made the number up, which means all these tax money goes to the treasury. Nobody can claim it. And then, or if they file tax return under W-7, they couldn't even get a refund. Worse is under the virus. These are what we call mixed families. American citizen marry alien. They couldn't even get to $1,200. So the family lose $2,400 because even though she's an American citizen, and the children lose the $500. I think the children can still get the $500. And I think the new law changed that. Also, the PPP, you have to be citizens. So a lot of these people whom they have only work permit. So I can go on and on that nobody wins unless we let this Biden law pass. These are stories. I call Senator Brown's office. I call Congressman Tim Ryan's office. I called Senator Portman's office, who's retiring after 2022. And even though he's a Republican, I'm sad for him because he's a good guy. All these people are good, but they don't get it because there's no Me Too movement for women. There's no the French movement on intellectuals sleeping with young girls. You need someone to talk about it. And we don't have that someone. I couldn't be that someone because I'm not that smart. I'm just a lawyer. So someone have to start doing that. You hear me? Whoever is listening to this, you need to talk to your neighbors, your friends about people like, I'm giving you an example. And how people like us, we work so hard for one family. After 5 years, the poor guy is stuck up there probably in tears. And we are the only hope. And sometimes we also feel powerless because we did everything we can do. We pay filing fees, very expensive now. An I-192 on a victim of crime case is $930. So this morning, I talked to someone who has a 17-year-old child in Mexico. They are here making money to support the grandmother and the child. Now the grandmother has COVID, is very tired and sick. And it cost them $930 just to do a waiver. $410 just to get a work permit. I would like to file both because under Biden, there's a chance I can get a 2-year to C14 and or the A14 or the C19 or something. There's a chance for me. But then when I look at the filing fee and he loses the job because it's COVID, millions of people lose the job. What do you think of people who have no papers? Of course they lose their jobs. How could people pay the filing fee? Right? So I'm just telling you, we need these laws passed. We need people who don't come up in caravans. We cannot play into the white people's hand about, why did they come illegally? They should all stay in line. That's not the point. We have people here, even though they come legally, even though they have no criminal records, they are suffering. And now these people are going out, hopefully to come back, to continue to pay their taxes, to support their American wives or husbands and their children. They're still stuck because your President Trump or our President Trump have denied all these visas. And tell us what to do. We are lawyers, we are doctors, we are ministers, we are media people, we're influencers, and if everybody feel powerless, where is America going? I mean, where are we going? You see all these young people, they're interviewing old people like us. They talk about they want to be lawyers and doctors. What kind of message can we give them if we are losing hope? And that's not the America people like us came in the 80s and the 70s and the 60s. And also that's not the America that President Johnson passed the Civil Rights Act in 64 and the Immigration Act, the Color Quota Act in 1965. And so it also, in addition to the Britney Spears cultural talk, in the Allen versus Pharaoh culture talk, in addition to the Me Too movement, in addition to the French, in addition to the scandal of the Olympics with the Russian dope or whatever, I would like you to also talk about how non-citizens, or however you name us, are suffering because of the no social security, no driver's license. That's all we ask for. We ask for social, we ask for work permit, we ask for driver's license. Please give that to us. So my son, who may or not have papers, could bring his first girlfriend. They would call me, these children, and say, "Oh, Mrs. Wong, my mother doesn't let me have a drive." They didn't know that they couldn't get a driver's license. "Oh, my parents don't. Can you please convince my parents to give me a driver's license? I want to bring my girlfriend out, but then I don't want to sit in the back of the car. My father's listening. I know my father's listening to me." I'm like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And I don't want to hurt them. I don't want to tell them, "Oh, it's not your parents. It's the state of Ohio. It's the state of this." But New York gives it, Chicago gives it, Maryland gives it. There are other states, New Mexico, California, all these good states give it. Why couldn't Ohio give it? Why couldn't Atlanta give it? I'm sorry I talked too fast. It's just, this is the thing that I would really like to see. That's the last stage of my career, and we need to do this. We just need to do it together. And we love you all.
And thank you so much, Ms. Wong, for sharing all these thoughts and experience, because we know you have gone through a lot in this immigration field, and you have seen a lot of changes through the years. So right now we have a very interesting question. This is a person that apparently spoke with you a few days ago, and he was waiting for the change of the law that Trump left, which was blocking the uh, immigrants for the working risk. So President Biden revoked this rule yesterday, if I'm not wrong, and is letting people come in with work-based visas. So the question now is, Ms. Wong, what do they need to do? This person received a letter where they said that they didn't qualify according to this proclamation of Mr. Donald Trump, but now that it's terminated, what should they do?
Okay, you need to email them, and I'm sure they have a list. And also, I want our listeners to understand this. This doesn't mean they're opening the borders. This doesn't mean, wow, 10,000 people will come in on these visas. In fact, these only apply to people who already have approved H-1B, coming in from outside, coming back in. F-1 student visa, where America universities, the Harvards, the Yales, the Case Westerns, the CSUs, Georgia Tech, they already approved, and the students can come back. All right. So these are already cases of prior approved. H-1B, you couldn't get a stamp unless it's already approved. The PI file is over there. So and also for husband and wife, or for siblings, or for children of green card holders or citizens, this only applies to cases they already finished the visa call. There's no criminal records, or they already got the pardon, the waiver approved. Now they can start stamping the visa. It also doesn't mean that 100% these people can come back. They still have to pass, every year they have to tell the NIV place, the American Embassy place, I'm coming. If they pass the 1 year, they still have to pay the $120 again, and the $325. And before they come, they still have to create the web to show they're paying the $220. So all the requirements still have to meet. So for this young man or woman who asked the question, good question, you need to call them, and they're very nice on the phone. So either call them or send them an email or write them and say, President, give them like 3 days, all right? Because they only revoked it this morning or even last night. And it does take time because we call the American embassies the old White West, because they do whatever they want. But this is good. So you just have to send them an email, write them, or call them. I would not suggest calling, because they don't pick up sometimes, and you get frustrated, you get angry, and it's not good. Anger is not going to get us anywhere. And then ask them, when is my visa call? When can you interview me so I can have my passport stamped? Because the same procedures do apply. It doesn't mean you can just go to the airport and come.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong. Yes, and this person says that he received a letter where they said that they have to wait until this proclamation was over, and then they would see if he could write a reconsideration letter to see if they could reconsider the decision. So if you have any questions, please feel free to call Ms. Wong, 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. And she has offices in 9 cities of the United States, in Atlanta, Chicago, Cleveland, Columbus, Memphis, Minneapolis, Nashville, New York, and Raleigh, North Carolina. And the phone number is the same, 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. We have a next question here. Needed your office to help me with citizenship. I am married to an U.S. citizen and I got my permanent green card on September 29, 2019. So, what does this person need to do to get his citizenship?
Okay. There are two questions. If I were you, I would ask. Number one, did I get a 2-year green card because I'm married to a citizen, and when I got my green card, it's less than 2 years? Or did I get my 10-year green card? Enjoy your green card instead. That's a problem with people like us because we worry a lot. Well, now that we got my work permit, now that I got my receipt, I'm worried about fingerprint. Now I got my fingerprint, I'm worried about, and then the virus came and they canceled it. I was, my gosh, I never got my green card. Now that I got my green card, already I'm worried about. Enjoy the moment, all right? And that's so important because I'm old and I've gotten my green card years ago. I look back and I said, it's just like passing the bar. When you didn't pass it, you want to pass it. But when you pass it, you look forward to the swearing in. When you got the swearing in, now you want to go out there and conquer the world and help so many people. And now that you did it, you say, oh, I want to go to another state. So you need the another states because it's especially someone for years of practice. State bar is very difficult to get in. They check all your bank accounts. They check do you have any bankruptcy. They check do you have any criminal record. Any forgery, any DUI, any stealing clients' funds. So everything is checked. So it takes about 9 months to 1.5 years to go to another bar. And it's serious. And some bars, they won't even let you get in without taking bar. Like I had to retake some courses in Chicago to get to Illinois bar. And Texas, I think they reciprocate. But Florida, they don't. California, they don't. New York, they don't. All right. But Washington and those DC, in those days, you don't even need to take anything. The second day you can get into DC bar. Now they changed. So in my year, it was the last year. So I can tell you stories about how people like us, we are always in a hurry. Otherwise, people like us don't come to America because we're that smart. So if I were you, the two questions you want to ask is, number one, did I get a 2-year green card, a 10-year green card? Number two, am I happy with my spouse? If I'm happy with the spouse, and it's up to you, you don't need to really stay in the marriage. And I'm not proposing divorce, but I don't want us to think, oh, I need to remain married so I can get my citizen or get my green card. If we are not happy, love is not slavery. Love is a give and take. So if you're being abused, if you feel that, and I'm not saying, you want to be the aggressor. I'm just saying that love is equal. You shouldn't have to let him or her take all the power just because you need a green card, right? So the second question I have is, if I'm happy with her, if we're still cohabitating, which means that we're still in the same household, then I can get citizenship in 2 years and 9 months and 1 day. But if we're no longer happy with each other, we're no longer, like, we may be separating, we're yelling and screaming and we're drinking too much, then I would go ahead and file the citizen in 4 years, 9 months and 1 day. Because if you file the green card, the citizen in less than 3 years, in the 3-year frame, a lot of times they do check the marriage. They do check if she's born here or he's born here, or how did he or she become citizen or green card, and why did you marry him or her. But if it's a 5-year citizen, they don't check as much as they check 3 years. I hope I answered your question, and good luck.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong. So probably this person,
buy her beautiful diamond or him. I always tell my clients, people always ask me, oh, should I marry? They don't ask me. Ask them, buy them a beautiful diamond. Don't just talk, will you sponsor me for green card? Right? That's so stupid, Why would I marry you? The first thing you ask me is, why will you sponsor me for green card? How much tax return do you pay? You cannot get on public charge. I need you to do the 944. I mean, if I'm the girl, I'd be like, what? I'm not going to marry you. I won't even date you, idiot. But, be nice. Buy her a nice ring. I have so many clients who call me, oh, we plan to get married this weekend. When can you give me a papers? When can I sign a contract? Would you like to, can I have you help me? I'm like, whoa, stop. Did you at least kneel down? Did you at least tell her or him you really like them? It's, oh, we've been together 10 years. I mean, she's lucky to marry me. What is this crap? If I were her, I won't marry you. So I know, Mr. Juan. I mean, we have fun with this program. I
No,
know. I lost it.
this is so much fun, and it's different to the Spanish one that we do, because I feel that you feel more free to talk about your experiences, which is really, really good. And thank you so much, Miss Wong. Actually, I was thinking about some people that maybe get in trouble for doing some stuff regarding to marriage, and then they get stuck in some situations that they cannot just leave very easily. And the next question, Miss Wong, is okay. Hi, Juan and Margaret. How are you guys? Please, what does Biden immigration proposal mean for I-130 family petition?
That's very good. It means that, how we always have someone do a 212 if you have deportation and do a 601A if you are here more than a year, undocumented, and now we need to leave the country and come back. A normal processing time is 2.5 to 5 years, especially under Trump is like sometimes 6 years. It's horrible. The past few years, Mexico especially is very, very tough and mean, and we don't know why. So, but now what Biden is hoping to do, and that's why it's so important, you would not need a 212. You would not need a 601A. You would not even need a 601. You just need to be either here in America on a certain day. We'll give you 5 years of work permit, and after 5 years, we'll give you a green card, irrespective if you are married or not. Or better yet, you can file that's one way to do it. The second way to do is file the I-130 because you're happily married. Then you just have to go back to Mexico and El Salvador or Guatemala or China for 1 day and come back. It reverts back to the Bush early days because there's no more 3 or 10-year bar. There's also no perm bar. And there's also extended 245I. These are the 3 laws that's very important for Biden. So for example, in your case, you didn't tell me who is your qualifying relative or sponsoring. So I presume if your wife has no papers or your husband have no papers, but your children are now over 21, so the children can sponsor you. You just leave for 1 day, go visit your family and come back. Then you get the green card. You don't need all this 212, 601A. Of course, you still need your police records or your no police record and stuff like that. Depends on the country.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong. This person is sending the other part of the question. She says, my I-130 was filed in 2017 by my mom. I am temporarily visiting in the U.S., but had the opportunity of an officer check my status because they thought it should have been approved by now.
Okay, so that's very good. So it means a parallel track. I'm in America now with a multiple tourist visa. The question is, whenever your mom filed your I-130, did you put on the DS-160 when you apply for the tourist visa? Did you say yes because you said your mom filed it? But in the meantime, you also came on tourist visa. So it's important because a lot of times the children are you're 20-some years old, you file the tourist visa and you say no, because normally if you say yes, the tourist visa is difficult to get. But granted, you may have said yes here. Now you're in America in status. If your mom only have a green card, or if you're under 21, or if you're under 21, your mom's a citizen, you can actually apply for citizen now, for green card now. You don't have to go out and apply. But then did you change your mind as a tourist? So what made you change your mind after 90 days to file for the green card? That's your answer. So the question really is, could I file for green card when the quota's open and I'm legal? It depends on if your mom is a citizen or green card, how old are you? Are you still single or married? Or what kind of cases did they file? Or do you have 245I? If you have 245I, then you can apply for green card now because you don't have to leave the country. Stuff like that. So you have a good case. At least you're legal. You have a multiple tourist visa, come back and forth. You're not tied. And they believe that You're bona fide because you came through the airport without getting denied entry. Lately, there's a lot of denied entry, especially from Chicago. Chicago will be good, and also Detroit. These two are very tough airports, and also Toronto is becoming perky and tough too. The pre-inspection, and also the Middle East QAE and stuff like that, they are tough. So these are airports that you may want to avoid. And I'm sorry, I'm going to get murdered because they need the business, but you need to be nice to people. For people to come to your airport and give you business, because we give you a lot of business. We buy drinks in the airport. We buy your restaurant food in the airport. If your flight is late, we'll sit there and we go buy candies and potato chips and water from your airport. The least you can do is to look at a person carefully, case by case. I mean, there are always cases that is fraud, but not every case should be sent back to the home country and then you lose business. That's not good for you. That's not good for America.
That is true. Thank you so much, Ms.
Sorry.
Wong. Thank you so much, Ms. Wong. And actually, we have a couple very interesting questions. One of them is, I got married to a person. We are a same-sex couple, and we got married, but all of a sudden he became very aggressive. He's an U.S. citizen, and all of a sudden he started threatening me and saying that he was going to call ICE on me, and he just says that he wants to leave, but before he leaves, he's gonna call ICE. Is there something I can do?
Absolutely. That's what I meant. When love should be equal, it should not have that power situation. In this case, he's overpowering you and he may need help. He may go see a therapist. But for you, you can do what we call Wawa case. I don't know if your I-130 45 is filed. If not, I would do the 360 and 45. You can get a work permit in 2.5 months to 6 months. That you do need proof or something to show that you are being abused. Because a lot of these passive-aggressive, abusive behavior, people don't talk about it, and we are sort of ashamed. Also for same-sex couple from overseas, because most overseas cultures are a lot more conservative. We don't talk about same-sex. We are embarrassed that we are of the same sex. So don't be embarrassed. You need to either report his aggressiveness to police, and whatever he does, make sure you don't want to die before this. That's why we came to America, not to die from my spouse's hands. So make sure you may want to report to police. If not, go see a doctor in a hospital. And the doctors are very nice in America. They will ask the question. You need to answer truthfully where you're abused. If not, go see a therapist, but definitely do a Wawa case. The nice thing about Wawa cases, not knowing when you came to America, even if you go to court, it's only a 3-year case. You don't need 10 years to do 42B in only 3 years. So this is a very good case. But document it, maybe write a daily journal. Words are very powerful. Write it down. And also maybe talk to a pastor, talk to someone spiritual so you don't get hurt. Because depression is serious now in America with the virus and stuff like that.
Yes, that's true. Thank you so much, Ms. Wong. Don't forget the phone number is 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. This next person says, I was born in the United States. My parents lived here for 12 years, and they had me and 2 little brothers. I turned 21 3 years ago, and right now I am 24. But my parents left in 2008. They came with a tourist visa in 2010, but when they were coming to the United States at the border in the airport, they found out that they had been here before and they lied to get the tourist visa. They gave them a bar for 5 years. That's what they said. But I would like to know if I could apply for them because they left in 2010 and apparently the punishment or the bar was for 5 years.
Okay, it's a very good case. Number one, expeditious removal bar for 5 years. That means I'm pretty sure you're expeditious removal. So you have 5-year bar. So if you come back after 6 years, you don't even need to do a pardon. All right, number one. On the other hand, though, they are saying you have fraud. The fraud is exactly what I was talking earlier. When you apply for when your parents apply for the tourist visa on the DS-160, they always have a question, were you ever in America? Your parents say no. Was there any immediate relatives in America? Your parents say no. Even though you may be here, and also they were here up to 2008, and then they left and they came back in 10. So at the airport, they probably found out these are cases. It's always easier to come on a bus or come on a train because they don't ask as many questions. And I would like what airport, because I'm trying to compile data on the airport to see what airports are nicer. And I'm not saying we have to open borders, open airport. I'm just saying be kind and be nice. So in this case, the airport denied entry because they find out, and probably they didn't find out as much because DS-160 2010. They normally don't get a form because 160 is a DOS form, and the airport is CBP, which is Homeland Security, is two different computers. Actually, they don't like each other because State Department's job is to increase trade, increase travel, increase American influence, which is its DOS, Department of State. It's always Department of State. It's always increase influence. Homeland Security is to decrease threats. It's enforcement based. I don't want terrorism. I don't know if you watch a TV, Homeland. Well, that's Homeland Security, right? So the mission is different. Mission of trade is more people come use our hotels, use our restaurants, use our airports, buy drinks, buy export, import, make us money. Homeland is, oh, no, we don't want anybody to hack our State Department computer. That's why State Department computers always hacked. I'm trying to educate you on immigration. Is a lot of fun. It's very edgy. It's like hip hop. It's not just, oh, I filled a form and Chicago denied me. It's not that simple. So in your case, absolutely you passed. It's already 10 years because they left in 1-0 and now it's 1-2-1. Definitely do the I-130 now. It takes 6 months to a year. Hopefully Biden will make it longer, faster. But under Trump, sometimes it's taking up to 2 years. So number one. Number two is on the last 2 pages on the form, they're going to ask, are you going to adjust status in America? You're going to go overseas. Just tell them Cedar Juarez, all right, Mexico, because I presume my parents are from Mexico. Then once the I-130 is approved, you pay the fee. Once parents get there, in the meantime, do that FOIA. From CBP. CBP is the border control, because you want to see what happened at the airport. If there's fraud, that's a problem. You also need to do USDOS FOIA to make sure whatever your parents answered, we look at it or you look at it, because your parents may not have lied. Why do you assume all Mexican people lie? That's stupid. So maybe they never lied, or maybe they never signed. I have cases where they use a travel agency to fill out, because travel agency buys your ticket. They want you to come, so they make some money, right? So you yourself never signed. They just say, I have no children in America. I was never in They never even talk to you. So these are cases that we have to argue your parents never lied. So if they never lied, they should be able to come without a pardon, because you're out of 10-year bar because she's there for 10 years. They're out of expeditious removal because he's out there for more than 5 years. So both 10 and 5, it's not 15, it's total 10, and she's out. So definitely do the FOIA, see if there's fraud. If there's a fraud, that's a problem, because you need a qualifying relative to waive fraud. Is forever bar. So how do we get rid of that waiver? Because you need a 601, you need qualifying relative, which is parent and spouse. So maybe both then lie, because normally they separate the couple in the black, we call them the dark room, the black room, the secondary inspection. So maybe I don't necessarily believe that they have lied, because you have to check everything, never accept what they say. There's a first rule of thumb for lawyers. You never trust nobody except writing. Even if for writing in the old days, immigration lies. I mean, I'm not saying they lie, but they'll do things because, it's just, those were the easy days, and people have no voice, because people like us, if we cannot vote, we have no voice. I would check everything before I accept they have lied.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong. And actually, we have a lot more questions, but thank you everyone for asking all of them. Ms. Wong is giving a lot of detail about each one of the questions. So the question of Alan Menezes, we already did it. So if you want to go back and check in this video, because we already asked that question a few minutes ago. Gloria Arboleda is asking this next question. Thank you very much for helping the immigrants. My question is, my brother-in-law petitioned my sister, who is in Colombia and was pregnant at the moment the I-130 was submitted, and it is still pending, but the baby was born last month. What should they do in order to include the newborn baby in the petition? Thank you.
Okay, I would not do anything. What she meant is It's a sibling case, it's a family 4 case. It was filed when at time of filing there's no children, only one. Now we added one. What I would propose we do is when the packet 3 and 4 comes, that means the DS-260 and the IV fee, how I always talk about $123, $325. So once you pay it, now you add one more body. And they know that because you can't expect 12, 15 years, baby's not born. And make sure whenever you change your address, you let them know you do the AR11. You don't, even though you're American citizen, you don't need to do AR11 anymore, but do it and do a change of address. I have a lot of clients, especially from India, from China, because they're new immigrants, they're new citizen. They move a lot. Now they didn't follow up. So now the case is canceled. And that's very sad because your family is waiting over there for 12 or 15 years. And by the time quota open, now you find out your case is canceled because they couldn't find you. So always make sure you update your address with them. These are little things that I love being an immigrant. It took like 45 years and tons of paralegals to learn this because we also have cases that was canceled. I was so angry. So we call them, but Mrs. Wong, you never change. Well, these are citizens. They don't ever change address, or American embassy should report, but they don't. So these are things that you have to do to protect your family after 15, 12 years.
Yes, thank you so much. And is this a case that we could talk about derivative citizenship? Okay, so no worries about it. Follow Ms. Wong's advice. And if you need more information, just give her a call, 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. So, Ms. Wong, just a general, this is a very interesting one. And can I buy a home while my asylum case is pending in Illinois? I filed in 2017.
Absolutely, you could. I presume you already have a 2-year work permit. I actually called this morning saying, there was no filing fee for the last work permit. Now then, why is there a filing fee? Is it because of Trump? It's not because of Trump. The first asylum fee is always free, but Trump did propose that we increase it, but that proposal never went through. The first, your work permit, absolutely, you buy your house, you borrow a loan. Loan rate should be the same as 2.some% as the American citizens because you have a work permit. The only thing is don't apply for anything that requires a citizen or green card, and make sure you read your application carefully. Because sometimes bankers, because they want to get that loan through, they'll make you sign. They'll say yes to the question: are you a citizen or a green card with legal papers? The answer is no. So you make sure you don't say America because your rate should be the same. You have a work permit, and also, even though I complain about the Chicago airport, that's very mean, you are lucky. Chicago Immigration, Chicago Asylum Office, and Chicago courts are one of the best in the state. So congratulations. So your asylum is being heard. But the reason why I love Chicago is because Cleveland also goes through Chicago circuit ride. Cleveland does not have our own immigration. Cleveland deportation goes through Detroit, which is sort of mean, but Cleveland immigration goes through Chicago, which is sort of nice. So we know, after a while, it's the culture. So even though it's one country, one rule, it's still different district offices. So you live in a very nice area for asylum, and congratulations. I hope you win your asylum case.
Thank you, Ms. Wong. And they are asking this question, text messages and maybe a video of this person mistreating a patient that he takes care of would be enough to prove that he is an abuser?
See, that's a criminal case question. And it depends.
This is for the VAWA case.
This is for, yeah. Oh, it's not for the other case because we had an abuser case.
Yeah.
Okay. This is for the VAWA case.
Case.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would do more. I personally like people to give me a daily journal or weekly journal with different pens. I don't want you to sit there, one day and write like a 10-month journal. I personally like more. That's because I like to do a good case. You should also write your own story. It's not that easy. You and I made a decision to come to America legally or illegally. And now we made a decision to marry someone. And also we are going through the biggest and the most important event in our life, which is getting a green card. So spend some time on it. Don't just do some text and stuff like that. Keep a daily journal, write your story down. tell the adjudicator where you have lived, when did you find out you're gay, are you really gay? Because I really don't like people who game the system, who just say, oh, I'm gay because it's easier to get gay people rights. I think that's wrong, So you really need to put some thoughts into it, because the work tells, the work shows. Officers are not stupid. If they only see this and this, they'll say, hey, what are you guys doing? You want me to give you a green card, show me something so my boss don't yell at me, even though, I want to help gay people. So if I were you, I would do more than that, but it's up to you, because some people, they're so sad and they're so out of it, they lost it.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong. Well, we went beyond the time that we should be here, but thank you so much for your patience, for your time. Well, Patel Raj is saying, hey, ma'am, I have a quick question, but it's not there yet. So probably we're going to have it for next show, next Thursday at this time at 12:30 in the afternoon. We will take care of your question. And if you want more information, you can just call right now, 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. I want to buy a house under my contract, but I don't have a status. So this is the question.
There are banks. I have a lot of people, they save cash, and sometimes they buy a $20,000 house, they save cash. So if you don't need credit, maybe easier. But if you need credit, there are some higher interest loan people that can give it to you. But I've seen a lot of undocumented people, non-citizens who buy houses. Maybe talk to some of those people. I don't think it's a loose cause. I think you can get it.
Okay. So thank you so much, Ms. Wong, for your time. See you next Wednesday. And please take care of yourself.
Thank you. Same with you.
It's getting warm. It's getting warm here in Atlanta, and I'm sure in Cleveland is getting a little warmer too. So it's a good time of change, and we will get over all of the situations that we are facing right now.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong.
Love you all. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Please call 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. Margaret W.Wong and Associates, with over 40 years of experience and offices in 9 cities of the United States.
This pandemic has changed the world. Margaret W.Wong and Associates, with over 40 years experience in U.S. immigration law, keeps working for you in the midst of adversity. Offices are in Cleveland, New York, Memphis, Atlanta, Columbus, Raleigh, North Carolina, Nashville, Chicago, and Minneapolis. Look after your loved ones and we'll take care of your immigration needs. Please call us at 216-279-3984. That's 216-279-3984.